Well, as far as it's been 2 weeks at half a dose, and today was like the first day I felt like a human being. Briefly, I was able to do dishes that didn't get done for like 2 weeks, and got out of bed, sat up, watched opening day, part of the opening day baseball game. Had a decent conversation with my brother. I have to go to the doctor in the morning and talk to him about where I'm at. I don't think a 50% reduction in dose is a good idea still, just because I felt halfway human today. But since I was whining in all my other videos and miserable, and just to tell them the truth, really, I thought, maybe I should put something up where I'm a little more optimistic about coming out the other end of this benzo addiction thing. All I know is I'm going to go in there and I'm going to tell them, like, yeah, I went off of this stuff. This stuff is bad news. And, I'm the one that got myself in this jackpot. And I'm the one that got myself addicted. I'm responsible for what goes in my body. But I want to do it responsibly and I want to do it safely. I don't feel like, I got that heart thing. And I feel like it's a hell of a strain for a person to go through withdrawal healthy, and then I got CRPS and a heart condition, and I don't think it was too responsible for him to cut my dose in by 50%. He probably doesn't have a lot of experience dealing with it. Or some guy on another video was good enough to recommend the writings of, I think her name's Dr. Heather Ashton. It's a British lady that goes all the way back to when they invented this Xanax. And talks about how she's helped people and her observations about benzo withdrawal and what works. And what works is to give the patient a little bit of control. The patient has to be motivated to get off the stuff, and highly motivated, because the withdrawal is so horrible. So the patient has to have input on his situation. I mean, you can't... I can't tell you what that feels like if you don't know, to be at the mercy of somebody else plunging you into withdrawal. And withdrawal is so horrible and psychologically difficult and devastating. And then if you don't have a support system, like I don't have a real good support system at all. I got just as many people that are dangerous and detrimental in my life as part of my circle of friends and family. So when you don't have that support system and you have to go through withdrawal and it's at the whim of some guy just making random decisions, I'm more than happy to work with the guy to cut my dose down, to get me off of this damn stuff, because it's poison. It's terrible for you. And the withdrawal, the fear of the withdrawal and the withdrawal is so horrible. I don't ever want to, if I come off the other side of this, and I will come out the other side of this one way or another if I live through it, I'll never touch a benzodiazepine again. Never. This has just been a hellish experience. Even while I'm on the stuff, I wasn't doing that good. And I may have more anxiety. And I will find other ways to deal with it. All I can tell my doctor is I want to do it safely and responsibly. And I don't know, laying there wanting to die while you're going through withdrawal, not being able to get out of bed, putting off getting out of bed to take a piss for like 2 hours just because you're paralyzed with the withdrawal. I mean, that can't be a good way to accomplish this. And I've been on a higher dose for 4 months, which is a significant amount of time, and it takes an adjustment period. And the 50% reduction, not good. I knew it was going to be bad. I didn't really know how bad it was going to be. I had experimented with tapering my dose, and after a couple of days I started to feel sick. I halved my dose on purpose, and I was like, wow, I was starting to feel sick. I better go back and take more. And now I don't even know if I want the doctor to even give me any more of it. If and cut my reduction to 25% instead of a full 50%, because I don't know if I want to go backwards I mean, you know, feeling like hell every day and feeling suicidal and just with your head a mess and just feeling like you can't do anything. I mean, that's horrible, but I don't know how. That's the other thing is you don't know how long that feeling's going to last or how long the withdrawal is going to be for you, because everybody is different. Some people, I knew somebody that went off of this stuff and they struggled with it briefly, but it wasn't no big deal. They didn't. It wasn't like really bad for them. It's been really, really horrible for me. Um, but yeah, I wanted to say something optimistic, like that I was feeling better, since you know the few people that watched the other video where I was just completely messed up and in despair, and then I had the flu type B, and I had to go through the 50% reduction in dose and a withdrawal while I had the flu. And let me tell you something. That makes for a fun 5 days right there, because I had the full flu for 5 days, and it took me about a week before I stopped running temperatures and having fevers and having the flu. And then I just kept feeling sick because I was still going through withdrawal. So today I was able to do a few household chores, and can't believe I've never enjoyed doing the dishes so much. So glad to be able to do something productive instead of just lay there wanting to die and just, you know, wanting it to be over. So yeah, I'm a little hopeful. I mean, I don't know how my appointment's going to go, but I feel like I can survive, even if, you know, he still wants to, if he still wants to keep my dose halved. And, you know, hopefully, see, he is affiliated with a new chain of hospitals. He was working for somebody else, and their policy might be stricter on the whole prescribing benzodiazepines. I don't know. It just might be a coincidence that he halved the dose when when he moved to a new hospital. I don't know. I don't know the backstory, and he's not going to tell me. I can only go in there and just tell him how miserable I've been, and I really want off of this stuff, but I want to do it. That's what I'm going to say, safely and responsibly. I don't want to sit there and be in danger mentally, you know, with the depression, and just, you know, if I had a gun in the house, I'd already be dead. You know, I don't keep a gun in the house. I'd already be gone. If that's just the way I would commit suicide if I had to. You know, that whole stuff about hanging yourself and all that stuff, you know, that's, for me, that's not, I could screw that up. I can't screw up a bullet. I know how to do that. So I don't think that's healthy for you to be in so much misery. Your dose should be tapered in such a way that, yeah, you're not feeling your best, but you shouldn't be that miserable where you can't get out of bed. You know, I didn't want to eat. I had days where I barely ate anything. I couldn't eat. And, you know, I know that people go through even worse withdrawal symptoms where they have vertigo and hallucinations and vomiting, and like even worse than what I was going through. What I was going through was bad enough for me. Luckily, I think I've only been taking them regularly for about a year to a year and 4 months. And they're so perniciously addictive, you can get addicted to them and have a problem with them within weeks. And I didn't know what I was messing with, so, you know, a friend had them, and I started taking them to help me sleep. And I got addicted before I even knew what happened. I wasn't even taking them every day. And then I started having more anxiety, and I had withdrawal and didn't even know what it was. I was like, I called up some people, and I'm like, I don't even know what's going on with me. I feel terrible and horrible, like I'm coming out of my skin. And yeah, I think I might even say to the doctor once I'm off of this stuff and clean. I was like, listen, if you got anybody like me ever coming in here asking you to be put on Alprazolam or Xanax, tell them to go to YouTube and watch videos like mine. I won't say mine, but just watch videos of people that have suffered because of this stuff. Because you got to know what you're getting into. I did not know what I was getting into. I've taken other things that were so-called addictive, but nothing like this. Nothing. Nothing like this. This was like, it was so quick. I didn't even know what happened. I didn't even know I was addicted to the stuff. All I knew, you know, I had taken other pills before. Lorazepam, you know, stuff that I've gotten somewhat by shady means to help me sleep. Downers have always been my thing, but I've never had a problem with addiction with them until I come across Mr. Xanax. You know, that's all I want to say is that I was doing better, because I know that, you know, all those other videos are in complete despair. They gave me a little hope. That doesn't mean I'm not going to feel like shit tomorrow. That tomorrow won't be bad. But at least I had this one good day where it's like a little glimmer of hope that the mechanism by which the addiction happens, and then the readjustment, that's what withdrawal is. It's your body readjusting, your brain readjusting to making the chemicals that the drug that you were taking or were supplying. So I don't know if that made any sense or not. It's probably not too clear, but I did read about it, and I understood how it worked from opiates. It's kind of the same deal. You take this chemical into your body, and the natural chemicals that your brain and your body produces, your body doesn't produce them anymore because they're being supplied artificially. And then when that artificial chemical is taken away, there's a deficit there that your body has to make up, and that's why you experience the withdrawal. You know, psychologically, I don't want to take the stuff, but physically, I'm dependent physically. I just have to get off it physically, but as far as I'm concerned, that shit is poison. And I thought it was my friend. I thought it was helping me to get through some tough times with anxiety when I was obsessing about my heart and feeling my heart beat fast and having anxiety, and I was having like anxiety attacks and stuff. But I don't ever want to go through any withdrawal ever again. And the only way to make sure that happens is to get off the stuff permanently, and that's what I'm going to do. And if it kills me. And I'll talk to the doctor and state my case tomorrow, and I'm not going to cry, and I'm not going to beg, I'm not going to plead if he wants to keep me at this dose. And if I have to, I'll just have to suffer. And I don't know how long that'll last, or how long the adjustment period will be until my brain starts functioning normally again and kicking out those chemicals that it needs on its own. You know, I'm taking a half a dose right now. I'm not even off of the stuff at all. But if I can adjust a half a dose, then I can half that dose, and then, you know, I can be off of it. But fast tapers is just too psychologically devastating, in my opinion. If you've been on it for a year, shouldn't you have a couple of months to get, you know, not a couple of months, shouldn't you have like as much as 6 months to taper off of the stuff? And it seems like it only makes sense. But yeah, I'm not going to be strident with the guy. I'm just going to tell him I want off of it. I'm motivated to get off of it, but I want to do it safely and responsibly. And my head's been in a very bad place for 2 weeks, and it's worrying me. But right now, I hate this stuff so much. I don't even know how I feel about getting more of it, so I'm less sick. I think maybe it's better to be sick. Maybe it's better this way. I don't know, but it's just so murderously difficult. And just because I had one good day today, and only it wasn't that great of a day, believe me. But I was out of bed, I was moving, and I was doing stuff, and I had some optimism that maybe, you know, this is a start of something better. That doesn't mean I'm not going to feel like crap tomorrow. I don't know. All I can say is that every doctor should tell people, just, you know, watch some videos on YouTube, watch some videos anywhere. Be informed about what other people go through with this, and what it can do to them. Because after a while, it does you harm rather than good. It does you good in the short term, As far as controlling anxiety, but in the long term, it's going to cause you much more grief and do much more damage to your life. It's not even depending upon how much dosage. The higher the dosage, I assume the worse. My experience was I was taking 1 milligram a day, and it's just a matter of taking it every day like that. Every day like that, then your brain stops producing them chemicals, and then you're chemically dependent. And then you got a problem, and you got a big problem. I don't know where, I'm not a big drug guy, so I don't know where benzo withdrawal ranks as far as opiate withdrawal. You know, I've known a couple of people that quit drinking and almost went into convulsions from quitting drinking and had real bad withdrawal from alcohol. But I don't even know that much about it. But I know from my experience, it's horrible. It's hellish. It's the way the time draws out like a blade cutting you. The time just draws out. You look at the clock and a minute's gone by and you think it's 15 minutes. It's like, it's just awful. I'll never forget it. And I have to talk like that, like, you know, like this is gonna be behind me. This is gonna be over with. You know, I'm gonna get my old brain back. And I'm not even going to worry about the anxiety and that I had, that I was using it to cope with. If I have anxiety, I'm going to have to find some other way to cope with it. That's all. I'm just going to think of this as a bad time in my life, a bad few years. I don't know how long I took it off the street for a while, and then I was prescribed it for somewhere over a year. And you know, I felt like it was a responsible thing to do, to get on here when I have a little bit of hope. And, you know, I know not many people are going to watch my videos, but the people that do watch my videos, you know, maybe they can draw something from that, or get something from that, that even as bad as I was a few days ago, where I was in complete despair and didn't even know what to say about it, that if you can hang in there, you can have a good day. And maybe, you know, if in a couple of days I'll come back to you again and talk, if anybody's interested, and let you know how I'm doing, to see, you know, how it goes. Maybe this is the start of my brain recovering. And it seems stupid to say that while I'm still taking the stuff. I'm still taking 0.5 milligram a day. It's just, I'm used to 1 milligram a day, and if I can do 0.5 milligram a day and get back to some kind of normalcy where I can function, and then I can do 1/4 milligram, and then I can do without it. It just takes time, and the doctor's got to give you that time for your brain and your body to adjust. And yeah, to get cut in half like that right when you catch a bad case of the flu. That's just me, man. I'm not a lucky dude. I'm not the luckiest guy in the world. A lot of my bad luck I make by screwing around with stuff I don't even know what it is on the street. Like, what got me in is jackpot. But I'm also, in a lot of ways, one of the more unlucky people you'll ever talk to. Anyways, if you're struggling, I got a little bit of hope today, and you can borrow it. I'll talk to you later. Talk to you in a couple of days and let you know how I'm doing.